This program is fan-generated. If you'd like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your supports are greatly appreciated.
Good evening and welcome back to the Jamie Glazov Moment. Tonight, Why I Love Muslims, Part 2. Now, I got some responses from the first segment that didn't surprise me very much. I kind of expected them. There's a certain percentage of conservatives that I just don't think get it. And I'm being criticized for a few things I said about loving the Muslim people. I got some messages about how I've been bought, about how they, quote unquote, got to me. And yeah, I'm meeting with Saudis in dark alleys and they're passing big, large yellow envelopes to me. I mean, it's so frustrating that there's a certain percentage of conservatives out there that do not understand the culture war. They do not know how to fight culture war. And it's because of people like you, to some degree, that the left owns the culture, that it's winning the culture war. So let me explain what I'm talking about and why this is so important. If conservatives owned the culture, this is what would be happening. Let's say there's a jihadist attack in Chattanooga, and we find out that Abdulaziz sent that Islamic text quoting the Hadith. The government would investigate. They would investigate what the Hadith is. They would investigate what the Islamic theology is. The government would invite Robert Spencer and Pamela Geller and David Horowitz and Brigitte Gabriel and Nani Darwish to start lecturing to the FBI, to start advising the president, to start advising the State Department and the Defense Department. But that is not happening. The media would be investigating all of these things. That is not happening. Our culture, our society, our entire government would be looking into Muslims and get tougher on immigration. It would look at the Muslims coming from the Muslim world that are trying to get into the United States, and it would ask them what they think about jihad. It would ask them what they think about Sharia. And those that believe in Sharia and believe in jihad and believe that it should replace the United States Constitution and want to do violence to America, we wouldn't let them in. What would happen is that in this country, we would tighten up and start looking into the connection that many Muslims have to mosques, the Muslims that have sympathy and empathy for what ISIS is doing. And we would crack down on those people. And we may even deport them or start monitoring them at least. Now, these things are not happening. That's why a Chattanooga is probably going to happen again, because our hands are tied behind our back, because we're blindfolded, because the left owns the culture. Because everything that I just said in our culture and society is now considered quote-unquote racist, bigoted, hateful, when it's absolutely not. And this is a very serious issue. So why I'm bringing this up is the conservatives have lost the culture war. The left owns the culture war, and we're incapable of doing anything because heroes like Robert Spencer, Pamela Geller, David Horowitz, Brigitte Gabriel, Nani Darwish, the people I just mentioned, these are people who are trying to defend America and Western civilization from the attacks of jihad. But the way that the left has caricatured and slandered them is that they're haters of Muslim people. Are you getting my point? The whole argument here is that we do not hate some baby that's born into a Muslim family and doesn't even have any ideas about jihad. We don't hate the Muslim man that lives down the street that's a nice fellow and does not follow his religion. It's very important for us to crystallize this. It's very important for conservatives to fight culture war and to make this point that there are many, many good Muslims. There are many good Muslims, brackets, i.e. they do not believe in implementing Sharia. They do not believe in perpetuating or perpetrating jihad. The key is that they are considered bad by Islam. We need to be focused on the ideology. And in order to break through this slander against freedom-loving people and people who want to defend our freedom, we have to start breaking through this iron curtain lie that the left has implemented about counter-jihadists being haters of Muslim people. We have to fight this. So I want to end by saying this. This is a lie of the left. We have to start stressing our love of Muslim people in terms of how we love all people in general, and we have to stress that our concern and problem is with the ideology of Islam and those who follow it. And yes, I get it. Every single Muslim person might be a potential problem if that Muslim person begins to follow Islamic theology and ideology. I get that. But we do not start hating people who are born into the Islamic religion who have not even made a decision or a commitment yet. This is a very important thing for us to do in order to start gaining back the culture. And I want to end with two things. Who really hates Muslims? That all the leftists I've met in my life, they're the real haters of Muslim people. And I want to bring up two examples. Number one, the lowered expectations that they have of Muslim people. For instance, whenever Muslims go on a rampage after a cartoon and go on a pillage and start raping and burning down churches, the left always says, oh, well, and it starts making excuses, and it says that it's reactive and they've been provoked, etc., etc. But whenever the Israelis do something, or the Jewish people might step on a mouse, or the Americans might do something, always a lot of criticism towards Western civilization, America, Israel. The left always holds the West up to a higher moral accountability and always holds the Muslim world to a lower moral accountability. This means that they're implying that the West is civilizationally superior and that Muslims are civilizationally inferior because they care less for them and expect less from them. And that's a real racism of the left. And I'll finish with this. I know counter-jihadists like Pamela Geller that have dedicated so much of their life for standing up for Muslim girls, defending the victims, standing up for those who are suffering under Islam. And it's always the left who sacrifices Muslim people and lets them suffer under Islam for the sake of their own political correctness. And I would say that that's who really hates Muslim people. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to fight the culture war. We have to negate and cancel out the way that we are slandered by the left, and that's why they own the culture. Start fighting for our freedom and our civilization, and use tactics and be clever, and that is why I love Muslims. We'll see you next week on the Jamie Glazov Moment.